What happened to that sharp memory you had in your 20s? Back then, you could remember dates, names, faces, and appointments in the blink of an eye. But now, years have passed, and something feels off. These days, you forget where you left your keys. You forget important dates and appointments. Sometimes, you even lose your train of thought and struggle to find the right words in a conversation. And it worries you, because the forgetfulness you're experiencing today could be a warning sign of something far more serious. Something that might eventually lead to forgetting the faces of your own sons. What's even more troubling is that many so-called experts dismiss these symptoms as just a normal part of aging. But a recent study from Harvard University tells a different story. It turns out something serious and even disgusting is happening in your brain. And if it's left untreated, it could undermine both your memory and your overall health. These researchers have discovered that the real culprit behind cognitive decline and memory loss isn't genetics or even aging. It's a dangerous class of brain-leaching toxins that slither up into your brain, clench into your synapses and neurons, and begin to suck away your memories until every drop of the life you've lived has been bled dry. And the most surprising news? These same researchers found a natural way to fight these brain-leaching toxins without the need for medications like Namenda, Excelon, or Aricept. It all comes down to a weird medical salmon recipe that has nothing to do with omega-3 or fish oil. And once you start using this weird medicinal recipe, you won't just be doing a deep brain cleanse that will flush out these brain-leaching toxins. In fact, you'll stop memory loss and regain the razor-sharp memory of someone half your age. Can you imagine what your life would be like with a healthy brain that makes you feel and look decades younger? Or imagine yourself holding on to every good time of your life for decades to come. By flushing away these brain-leaching toxins, not only will you be able to do that, you'll actually outperform everyone your age. You will be able to share every story from your life with your sons and grandchildren, never losing your train of thought. And best of all, you'll protect your brain and your health from future serious problems, while maintaining your independence to enjoy the things you love for the rest of your life. And that's exactly what I'm going to reveal in this video. I'll share exactly what these brain-leaching toxins are, where they come from, and how they are lurking inside your brain. And I'll share why so many people battle serious memory problems, just like well-known figures such as Bruce Willis, former President Ronald Reagan, and actor Robin Williams, who suffered memory loss due to this long-overlooked villain. And the reason why these leech-like toxins are so dangerous is that they're found in the air you breathe, the water you drink, and even in some of the food in your refrigerator. In other words, your home might be a breeding ground for these toxins, which are linked to nearly all memory problems. From simple forgetfulness like missing a doctor's appointment, to serious issues like forgetting the name of the people you love most. And since they're in the air, water, and food, it's no surprise that over 200 million Americans are exposed to them every day. That's why so many families watch helplessly as their loved ones' memories fade. As tragic as that sounds, the important news I need to share is that right now, thousands of Americans are defeating these toxins by using the weird at-home medical salmon recipe.
My neurologist said I'd need 24/7 care in a nursing home within a few years. But today, I've passed memory tests and my brain is sharp again. All thanks to the recipe you teach in your video, Christopher.
It sounds crazy, but after trying the medicinal recipe you teach, my brain feels like it's gone back in time. I'm remembering better than when I was 30.
I only tried this medical salmon recipe because I was tired of constantly forgetting important dates, names, and appointments. It used to take me 20 minutes just to find my keys, and my wife, she was so frustrated. I'm so glad I gave it a chance because now I can speak without losing my train of thought.
And beyond those transformations, this medicinal recipe saved my own mother, even after she experienced a terrifying memory lapse where she nearly killed me with a garden fork. Today, I brought my mother here to share more of this story because I don't want you to experience anything like we went through. I'll also share the shocking 5-question quiz developed by Oxford neuroscientists that reveal if silent brain-leaching toxins are secretly devouring your memory and how to stop them before it's too late. I'll reveal why your brain-boosting supplements like fish oil, omega-3, and nootropics don't work, and why Alzheimer's research and therapy found that 98% of memory loss drugs fail in clinical trials. And I'll reveal how you can use the weird medicinal salmon recipe, backed by cutting-edge neuroscience from prestigious medical school, to regain a sharper brain than people half your age. That's what you'll find in this video. But before I go further, I need to warn you. This new solution for memory loss is already being used by some elite doctors in the US. But big pharmaceutical companies are doing everything they can to prevent most doctors from prescribing this natural solution. That's because it's not a drug loaded with chemicals, which means big pharma can't patent it or profit from it. And that's why, as this video goes viral, it's threatening to cost the pharmaceutical industry billions of dollars in lost revenue. At the same time, this solution can save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars each month in medical costs. That's why these pharmaceutical companies would love nothing more than to see this presentation taken down quickly. So if you want to end those moments of forgetfulness and make sure you never lose your independence, be sure to watch this video all the way through. My name is Christopher Euler. I've been a brain health and anti-aging researcher for over 2 decades, and I can confidently say I've dedicated my entire career to studying natural solutions for serious health problems. During this time, I've published hundreds of scientific articles and 3 books that have reached over 68,000 people worldwide. In recent years, my focus has shifted entirely to the brain and memory, particularly life-altering memory problems. For me, this wasn't just a commitment, it became an obsession. Why? Because 5 years ago, I watched my mother endure a living nightmare as she suffered from memory loss and cognitive decline during what should have been her golden years. To give you a clearer picture of what she experienced and how she was able to overcome it, I've invited my mother to share a bit of her story with you. Hey!
Good to see you, son.
Thank you for doing this.
Yes, of course.
All right. So, I'm glad you accepted the invitation, but let's cut to the chase. Tell us how you felt in the beginning.
Well, son, at first I noticed my thinking was a bit slow, but honestly, I didn't pay much attention to it. It wasn't until I started missing appointments that I realized something was really wrong. Then when I couldn't remember people's names during conversations, and that was when it hit me. And son, I don't know if you remember, but I was always great with names and dates.
Oh, I definitely remember that. And you were the one that kept track of all the birthdays, the uncles, aunts, cousins, like pretty much the whole family, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I had lost that. My memory wasn't the same anymore. What frustrated me the most was not being able to have a proper conversation. Words would vanish from my mind and I'd struggle to stay on track. And then I started feeling down. I didn't want to go out and I just wanted to be alone.
So that's why you canceled the cruise with Dad?
Yes. I didn't even want to travel anymore. Every day I felt tired and confused, like all the days were blending together. Lonely days, where I honestly thought that was the start of something worse. I guess that's why I started making jokes back then, like, better call the nursing home and old age is catching up with me.
Yeah, Mom, a lot of people think that those little forgetful moments are just part of aging, but that's a big misconception. Look, I came back without my mom because I need to talk to you about a dangerous misconception, that memory loss is just a part of aging. That is a mistake I don't want anyone to make, because these small forgetful moments drove my mom to rock bottom. It was a Wednesday night, and I remember it like it was yesterday. We were laughing on the couch when she remembered to take out the trash, but when she came back inside, her eyes locked onto mine and screamed so loud. I thought my eardrums would burst. Get out of my house right now. What do you mean, Mom? I said, completely confused. Then she grabbed the garden fork I had left by the door. If you don't get out of my house, I swear I'll kill you. Mom, it's me, Christopher, your son. No matter how many times I repeated it, she simply wouldn't listen. Worse, she started coming at me with a garden fork, like some psychopath had possessed her body. Thankfully, I managed to hold her back and get the fork out of her hand before anything happened. And in that moment, it was like a veil lifted from her eyes. She realized she had just tried to kill her own son. She broke down in tears, saying she didn't recognize me. Even though I was in complete shock, I forced myself to calm down. That's when I called the best neurologist I knew and begged for an emergency appointment the next day. After running several cognitive tests, the doctor confirmed what deep down I already feared. I'm sorry, but your mother has early stage dementia. We can try to slow it down with medication, but that's really all we can do. This wasn't supposed to happen. My mom had dreams of going on a cruise with my dad, traveling the world, and seeing her grandchildren graduate from college. But all of that will be taken away within the next 2 years, because the doctor said that's how long it could be before she'd need 24/7 care in a nursing home. During that time, the doctor prescribed various medications, Namenda, Exelon, Aricept, and even a new one called Donemab. Now, my mom is going to share what those medications did to her life. Mom, can you tell us a bit about what you tried to do to fix these memory problems?
Well, I tried everything, I took all sorts of medications the doctor prescribed. I remember that as soon as I started taking them, my energy just vanished. I became even more exhausted with a mental fatigue I'd never felt in my life. And to top it off, they messed with my stomach. And I ended up losing about 20 pounds in a really unhealthy way.
Did you try anything else, Mom?
Oh, yes. I tried fish oil, omega-3, nootropics, and even some supplements I picked up at Walmart. But in the end, none of them helped at all.
You see, it makes sense that none of that worked, because now we know that those medications and supplements you were using don't actually address the real cause of memory loss. And that's probably why they ended up making things worse than better.
Don't even remind me. It was the worst phase of my life. I could feel people treating me differently, like I wasn't even the person they'd known for many years.
This was the darkest chapter of my mother's life. She had always been such a sweet and vibrant person, but her memory loss would cause her to explode with anger out of nowhere. And then, just hours later, she'd realize what she had done and break down, sobbing uncontrollably. As her son, I felt like I was failing her, helplessly watching it all unfold. I didn't know how to help her or if it was even possible, but I knew one thing was for sure. I had to help her. So I dove into every study I could find. I researched all the latest medications, surgeries, experimental solutions for memory loss. What I found left me in shock. A study published by Alzheimer's Research and Therapy revealed that 98% of memory drugs fail in the clinical trials by big pharmaceutical companies. In other words, 98% of those drugs don't prevent, slow down, or minimize memory loss. At best, they only temporarily ease some symptoms. Yet, pharmaceutical companies keep releasing new drugs with one goal in mind: draining your money from your pocket. That's why Big Pharma rakes in $3.64 billion a year. And with all that money and influence, they have every reason and every tool to ignore or even censor natural solutions that can help you reclaim the memory you thought was lost forever. After uncovering all of this, I felt like I was stuck, getting nowhere. I spent weeks away from my wife and kids, completely exhausted. But honestly, I would never give up on my mom. That's just how I was raised. So I keep going. And eventually, my persistence paid off. After countless hours of research, phone calls with friends, and consulting with memory loss experts, I finally stumbled upon a groundbreaking study by Dr. Richard Jones. In this study, Dr. Jones discussed how our daily lives are completely different from 50 years ago. These days, air pollution has increased, and the food we eat is loaded with chemicals, microplastics like PFAs, and even heavy metals like mercury. All of these are real toxins for our bodies. And unfortunately, here in America, the levels of these toxins in our daily lives are only increasing, causing thousands of people not only to have their health ruined, but also to see their memories burned to ashes. This is so dangerous that it's already been reported by major news networks and countless other media outlets. And according to a study by Dr. Birgit Gweck, published in the Journal of Exposure Science and Environmental Epidemiology, these toxins disrupt blood pressure, raise blood sugar levels, and even cause sleep problems. But when it comes to your brain and memory, the impact is even worse. Recently, Harvard University discovered that these toxins are responsible for stealing and devouring a vital substance in your brain and memory health. That's why these toxins are known as brain-leaching toxins. Just like a leech steals and devours blood, these brain-leaching toxins do the same to the most important substance in your brain. This is what makes you more forgetful and slows down your thinking day by day. The vital substance being devoured by the leech-like toxins is acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is crucial for keeping your memory sharp and your thoughts quick. Think of acetylcholine like a librarian in a vast library. When you ask a librarian for a specific book, they retrieve it quickly and without hesitation, knowing exactly where it's stored. Acetylcholine works in a similar way in your brain. It retrieves memories quickly and effectively, without delay or forgetfulness. So whenever you try to remember something, it's acetylcholine in your brain doing the work. And this process works great when we're in our 20s and 30s. And that's why when we're young, our minds are sharp. We remember appointments easily, and we don't deal with mental blackouts. But here's the problem. The older you get, the longer you're exposed to these toxins. And the more brain-leaching toxins you're exposed to, the less acetylcholine your brain has. The result? Your acetylcholine levels get wiped out, and your memory starts to fail. At first, you might forget where you left your keys or lose your train of thought mid-conversation. But eventually, it gets to the point where your memory is so damaged you can't even recognize the faces of the people you love. It's like the memories you've made with the people you care about are going up in flames. With each passing day, more and more studies are proving that low levels of acetylcholine, memory problems, and high levels of these toxins are all connected. And that's why they're called brain-leaching toxins, because you're literally devouring the acetylcholine in your brain. The worst part? You can't avoid these toxins, often called brain-leaching toxins. They're everywhere in your life. New research proves that they're in the air we breathe as pollution. They're found in carbohydrates, sugars, sweeteners, and other processed foods. And most shocking of all, a study by the Environmental Working Group revealed that over 200 million Americans are drinking water contaminated with chemical substances known as PFAs, which are also brain-leaching toxins. This explains why nearly 7 million Americans suffer with serious memory loss problems. The sad truth is that many people are watching their memories fade, all because of these brain-leaching toxins. And to help you determine if this problem is affecting you, I'm going to share a simple quiz created by Oxford University. See if you answer yes to any of these questions. Do you momentarily struggle to remember what you ate in your lunch a day before? Do you have difficulty keeping your train of thought in a conversation or have trouble remembering certain words in the middle of a sentence? Have you ever entered a room and forgotten why you were there? Have you had to write reminders for basic tasks that you used to do automatically? Do you feel that your memory has significantly worsened in recent months or years? If you answered yes to one of these questions, it means brain-leaching toxins could already be present in your brain. And if you answered yes to more than one question, the damage from these toxins may already be significant, and your acetylcholine levels could be much lower than what's considered healthy, just like my mother's were. That's why it's crucial to flush away these brain-leaching toxins, because if you don't, your acetylcholine levels will never return to healthy levels, and your memory will continue to decline. But how can I flush away these toxins and increase acetylcholine levels? This question kept nagging at me as I watched my mother lose more and more of her memory battling these senior moments. I felt lost, unsure of how to solve the problem. Then I thought about my 2 decades of work as a researcher and all the doctors and scientists I'd connected with over the years. Surely, one of these hundreds of people could help me find a way to fight these brain-leaching toxins and boost acetylcholine production in the brain. The first person who came to mind was Dr. Richard Jones, the lead researcher from the study I had shared with you. I made dozens of calls, sent countless emails and messages, until finally I got Dr. Jones's contact info. When I finally got him on the phone, I laid it all out. I told him everything about my mother. I shared what I learned about acetylcholine and these brain-leaching toxins. I explained how all of my mother's attempts, Namenda, Exelon, Aricept, omega-3s, nootropics, and other so-called solutions had failed. Then I asked him if he had any idea how to solve this. For a moment, Dr. Jones went silent, like he'd been muted. Those 15 seconds felt like an eternity, until suddenly he spoke. And what he said turned out to be the greatest blessing I'd ever received. Christopher, after publishing this study revealing what really causes memory loss, I set out on a journey to discover how to solve this brain leach problem. And on that journey, I met Mr. Akira Hamaguchi, who at 78 years old, won the World Memory Championship for the 3rd time. That's right, a 78-year-old man beating competitors 20, 30, even 40 years younger than him in a memory competition. And the most impressive part, every memory champion in the past decade has been Japanese and over 70 years old. When I heard this from Dr. Jones, none of it made sense. If older people are supposed to suffer from memory loss due to brain-leaching toxins, how are these Japanese men well into their 70s still dominating memory competitions? The answer to that question saved my mother's memory. This gentleman, who won the memory championship 3 times, had a secret for keeping his memory sharp even after 75 years. It's something he considers almost sacred. What I discovered is that this secret is a common thread among all these Japanese men who still have sharp memories even into their 60s and into their 90s. And it all comes down to a weird, at-home medicinal salmon recipe they've been consuming every day since they were 5 years old. At first, this didn't make much sense to me. I didn't realize that salmon is one of the top foods for brain health and memory. So, what exactly is this weird medicinal salmon recipe? And how could I use it to help save my mother's memory? At this point, I turned to Dr. Jones for help in explaining this salmon recipe. And now I'm going to share everything he revealed to me. The doctor explained that consuming this medicinal recipe, like these Japanese individuals have, wasn't the best option for my mother. After all, they've been consuming it every day since they were 5. If my mother wanted to experience the same benefits of revitalizing her memory, she would need to eat pounds of salmon and all other ingredients every day just to make up for the lost years. And more importantly, Dr. Jones said there was a solution to this problem. That's because he studied the medicinal salmon recipe in depth and managed to extract the key nutrients that actually work to stop and fight memory loss. Now, I'm going to share what those nutrients are. The first one is Japanese alpine ginkgo biloba. Unlike regular ginkgo biloba, this special variety is harvested high in the Japanese mountains and is the exact ingredient used in the traditional salmon recipe. Once you consume this Japanese alpine ginkgo biloba, it's quickly absorbed into your brain, where it locates, fights, and flushes away each of the brain-leaching toxins. The Japanese neurologist Hai-Yan Wan published a study in the prestigious Journal of Food Composition and Analysis confirming that ginkgo biloba plays a key role in detoxification, enhancing the overall brain health. That's why the impact of Japanese alpine ginkgo biloba on people's lives has been remarkable. Dr. Ayuner conducted a study with 547 participants suffering from memory loss. In the study, he gave them a unique form of ginkgo biloba. Even those with severe memory loss, who had lost all hope, astonished the researchers by improving cognitive function. But Japanese alpine ginkgo biloba doesn't just fight toxins. A new study shows it also boosts acetylcholine production, which is a crucial factor in combating all types of memory loss and cognitive decline in aging brains. Which brings us to the second phase. Now that the toxins are cleared, we need to boost even more acetylcholine production to revitalize the brain. The second super ingredient is hydropure Bacopa monnieri leaf extract. For years, researchers have praised Bacopa monnieri for its ability to enhance brain functions by increasing acetylcholine levels. Dr. Jones discovered that the Japanese used an advanced hydroextraction process, which uses only pure water to preserve the maximum bioactive compounds in Bacopa monnieri. The result is a cleaner, more potent form of this ingredient. In fact, a 2023 study published by Eric A. Walker in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease shows that this unique Bacopa monnieri significantly boosts acetylcholine production, which is critical for sharp thinking, focus, and mental clarity. In one large study, patients taking hydropure Bacopa monnieri leaf extract were able to recall phone numbers and other details far better than those on a placebo. So while Japanese alpine ginkgo biloba and hydropure Bacopa monnieri leaf extract make a great starting point, the real power happens when they work together to revitalize your brain and prevent further damage. But to fully recover and reclaim your memory, it's also necessary to repair the damage toxins have already caused in the brain. And honestly, I didn't even know this was possible. But Dr. Jones discovered something that changed everything. A powerful nutrient, scientifically proven to revitalize brain health. It's called phosphatidylserine. Now, phosphatidylserine can even extract from algae, fish, and even certain fruits from the Amazon rainforest. But Dr. Jones found that the only source of phosphatidylserine in the Japanese medical recipe was salmon. That's why the most potent and effective form of this ingredient for combating memory loss is the kind specifically extracted from salmon. And science shows that this remarkable compound can do something once thought impossible. It can revitalize and help repair brain cells. Research published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience revealed that salmon-derived compounds played a critical role in repairing damaged neurons that have been affected by stress, aging, and toxins. And here's the best part. Studies show that this unique compound can significantly boost acetylcholine levels and regenerate damaged brain cells. In a double-blind, placebo-controlled trial of men and women aged 50 to 80 with memory loss and cognitive decline, those who took this nutrient showed remarkable improvements in memory tests and brain scans. By boosting acetylcholine production, these patients experienced clinically significant improvements in cognitive function and overall brain health. And that's just the beginning. This medicinal recipe contains 7 more powerful brain-boosting nutrients. The power of these nutrients is truly remarkable, isn't it? But in the end, it's not just about the results these studies have shown. It's about regaining your independence, freedom, and confidence. Remembering appointments, staying sharp in conversations, and avoiding those frustrating moments of forgetfulness. It's about holding onto your memories and living the rest of your life with the vitality of someone 10, 20, or even 30 years younger. And the moment I discovered these nutrients, it was exactly what I wanted for my mom. Even though she had used some of these ingredients before, she had never taken all of them together, and never in the exact dosages Dr. Jones recommended. So I reached out to dozens of my contacts and managed to get small quantities of all Japanese nutrients from salmon. As soon as they arrived, I carefully combined these nutrients and created a formula that revitalizes memory to its peak performance. It took a few weeks of work, but when I finally finished, I couldn't wait to share these discoveries with my mom. And there's no one better than her to tell you about the experience. So Mom, can you tell us about your experience using this concentrated formula of the medicinal salmon recipe?
Sure. You remember that at first I didn't want to try it, right? And I was so confused and tired. I just didn't believe anything would work, especially after that doctor told me straight to my face that it was just part of aging and there wasn't much that they could do.
I remember how skeptical you were and how you refused to even try the formula at first. And that's the reason why I showed you the studies and all those stories about people who had turned their memory around because of this formula.
Exactly. That was when I decided to give it a shot and started using it every morning. And within the first few weeks, I was waking up with more energy that lasted all day. But honestly, I didn't notice much else beyond that at first.
Now, I get it. At first, I was a little disappointed that your memory hadn't improved, but having more energy was definitely a good start. So what happened in the following days?
You see, I remember you nagging me every single day to take the formula properly. Thank goodness, because as the days passed, I could feel my mind getting clearer. And you know, the biggest change I noticed was in my conversations with your father. We started having longer talks. I could keep up with the conversation, and I even noticed he was more excited to talk to me.
Wow. And there's something I've never told you before. During these weeks that you were taking the formula, I had one of the most memorable moments of my life. I came to visit, expecting to find you lying in bed like usual. But when I got there, you were in the backyard. You were watering your plants and you were feeding Luke. Now, I know this might seem small to most people, but just a few months earlier, my mom didn't even recognize me. And now you were remembering to feed the dog. And you were back to taking care of your plants, your most beloved hobby.
You never told me that.
No, I had to hold myself back because in that moment, I wanted to jump, hug you, and tell you that we'd done it. But honestly, I knew you had good and bad days, so I didn't want to say anything too soon. All I did was keep reminding you to take the formula every day, and looking back, that was the best decision, because over time, you just kept getting better. I always say I witnessed the greatest blessing of my life happen right in front of me.
Me too. That formula was a blessing. It felt like someone flipped a switch in my brain. Suddenly, I was remembering names, faces, and dates in the blink of an eye. I even remembered grocery shopping without needing a list. It made me so happy. In the end, it felt like my brain got sharper, you know? I felt like I had the health of someone much younger. And I'm not just saying this off the top of my head, because I remember the exact words my neurologist said. Your memory and cognitive abilities are better than 95% of my patients, even those in their 20s and 30s.
And that's right. What the doctor said, along with the results of the memory tests, was proof that this formula really worked. And what makes me proudest is that the amazing grandmother to my children was back. And it wasn't just me who noticed this.
Exactly. Once I got better and the memory issues were gone, I couldn't stop talking about it. I told everyone at church, the neighbors, and the whole family.
Look, when my mom started sharing her experience with the formula, it led to dozens of people reaching out to me asking for it. Since I still had some stored away, I decided to help friends and family by sharing it with them. After that, my phone was flooded with thank you messages and calls. Men and women in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s were thanking me because that mental fog had lifted. People were grateful because they no longer spent 30 minutes every morning searching for their car keys. And it made me wonder, why didn't I discover this sooner? Why isn't this common knowledge? The reason is pretty simple. This formula is 100% natural, meaning it's not a drug that big pharma can patent. That's why these companies go out of their way to discourage doctors from recommending these incredible nutrients. After all, if your brain could function like it did decades ago thanks to affordable, natural ingredients, why would you need medications that cost $300, $400, or even $500 a month? You wouldn't, and that means fewer sales for them, which leads to losing millions of dollars. That's why this information isn't widely shared. It's unfair on so many levels. But if I have anything to say about it, that's going to change, because my goal is to make this formula available to as many people as possible. And to do that, I needed a partner, someone who could source these ultra-pure nutrients that support brain and memory health, someone who could adhere to the FDA's strict hygiene and safety standards, and someone who can manufacture this in the United States of America, so I could ensure every step of the process was followed to the letter. After 6 months of searching, research, and testing, I finally found a partner factory to produce this remarkable formula. And now I'm proud to introduce to you MemoForce. MemoForce is the first and only solution that fights brain-leaching toxins and boosts acetylcholine production, stopping and even turning back the clock on memory loss. Every single bottle of MemoForce is manufactured in a GMP certified facility right here in the United States, and each capsule is 100% pure, with no artificial additives, GMOs, or harmful preservatives. Just 2 easy-to-swallow capsules taken once a day right after breakfast. Once you do that, your brain will start absorbing these powerful memory-boosting nutrients and will fight those brain-leaching toxins. You'll feel like your brain has traveled back in time to a healthier, happier, younger, and more energetic version of you. The version of yourself that fully enjoys every moment of life with the people you love. And, most importantly, the version that keeps those precious memories safe for decades to come. Can you imagine how amazing that will feel? Never losing your train of thought in a conversation? Never having to worry about those senior moments again? How incredible it would be to live with a sharp mind, knowing you can enjoy the coming decades without fear of cognitive decline or memory loss. I'm talking about becoming the person who's fully independent, able to take care of your home, work, play with your grandchildren, and even pick up a new hobby. You'll enjoy your golden years doing the things you love with the people you love, all while creating and holding on to new memories along the way, just like hundreds of people are doing right now.
Christopher, after I turned 50, I started noticing my memory slipping, not to mention how terrible my sleep had become. One day while driving home, I completely forgot where I lived and ended up lost in my car for 3 hours. But today marks 50 days since I started using MemoForce, and I feel like I'm sleeping deeper and my memory seems as sharp as it was when I was 30. I can't thank you enough, Christopher.
In my family, several people suffer from memory loss and cognitive decline. When I started forgetting the names of my neighbors and friends I've known for years, I was sure what's happening to me too. But now, after 4 months of using MemoForce, I can confidently say my memory has stopped failing, and the mental fatigue I used to struggle with is completely gone.
I used to joke about my senior moments, but it wasn't really a joke, you know. It was affecting me.
That's true. We couldn't go anywhere without Sarah forgetting where we parked the car or why we were there in the first place. It was tough seeing her so frustrated all the time.
Yeah, the hardest part was that some days I couldn't remember what I had for breakfast, and other days I'd struggle to recall our grandkids' names. And the constant anxiety about my fading memory, it was awful.
She tried everything. Remember that crossword puzzle phase?
Don't remind me. But then we found MemoForce. I was skeptical at first, but I was desperate enough to try anything.
I noticed the difference in her within the first few weeks. She seemed sharper in conversation and less anxious.
It was incredible. Suddenly I could remember things clearly. Names, dates, where I put the keys. Everything just clicked again.
Now we can have real conversations again. And we've even started taking on more challenging activities together. It feels like we've gotten our old life back.
MemoForce didn't just improve my memory, it gave us our quality of life back. If you're struggling like I was, please give it a try. You don't have to live with cognitive decline. Trust me, I know. It's like I've turned back the clock 20 years.
And you will be the next to experience these results once you start using MemoForce. So if you are someone who really cares about your mental health and your independence, and if you are someone who desires to have a youthful brain that is as fast as people half your age, then you've already made the decision of guaranteeing your MemoForce's bottles. Otherwise, you wouldn't have watched this far. And since you're still here, you're probably wondering how to get your hands on MemoForce and how long you need to use it to see real results. The truth is, my team and I wish it were easier for everyone to access this revolutionary solution, but it's not that simple. Here's why. MemoForce contains natural premium ingredients sourced from all over the world. That's why it's challenging for the factory to source these active ingredients from our suppliers. As a result, it takes about 90 days to produce a new batch of MemoForce, which means we often run out of stock. That's why we only have a limited number of bottles available each month. And when they're gone, you'll have to wait up to 3 months for the next restock. But don't worry, I'll show you how you can get your hands on this revolutionary formula in just a moment. First, let me explain how and for how long you should use it to get the best results. We recommend taking 2 MemoForce capsules daily, right after breakfast for at least 30 days. While MemoForce starts working right away, scientific studies on this formula show that the longer you use it, the better your results will be. That's why we suggest adding MemoForce to your routine for at least 3 months. And if you're looking to ensure even better and more lasting results, we recommend using MemoForce for 6 months. Plus, by opting for our 6-month supply, you'll protect yourself from any stock shortages. Since, as you now know, we sell out every month. And I must give you a fair warning. MemoForce is only available on this website. And since no other product on the market targets the real culprit behind memory loss, those insidious leech-like toxins and low acetylcholine levels, MemoForce is your only real chance to end brain fog and regain the sharp memory you had decades ago. Now, I need you to be honest with me. How much is it worth to you to have access to this? How much is it worth to live a life with a healthy, sharp mind that gives you the independence and autonomy to do what you love? How much is it worth to regain your youthful mental clarity and protect your cognitive health like that of a young adult? How much is it worth to feel a surge of mental energy that keeps you alert and focused throughout the day, allowing you to enjoy life with the people you cherish most? Have you thought about it? How much is all of it worth to you? The truth is, it's hard to put a price on your well-being and mental health. And when you realize that MemoForce delivers exactly that, you can understand why it's difficult to assign a value to it. And on top of that, given how hard it is to source the ingredients for this formula, my team originally wanted to charge $300 for a single bottle of MemoForce. And when you consider that thousands of people spent $1,000, $2,000, or even $5,000 a year on ineffective memory supplements, brain medications, and doctor visits, and when you consider that medications like Aricept can cost $400 a month and come with side effects like nausea, vomiting, and even liver damage, you can see why $300 for MemoForce is not just fair, it's actually cheap. After all, preserving your memories, maintaining your independence, and living a life with better cognitive health and autonomy is priceless. But don't worry, the price won't be anywhere near that. And here's why. My dream is for MemoForce to be nominated for the Innovation of the Year Award by the World Health Organization. To achieve that, we need at least 6,000 customers. So far, we have about 5,600. To reach that 6,000 customer mark, I've decided to offer a special promotion. Today, and until we hit our goal, you won't need to pay $300 for a bottle of MemoForce, not even $150. Today, you can try this brain-saving formula for just $79 per bottle. And wait, it gets even better. Since it's been proven that the longer you use MemoForce, the better your results, and because most people are ordering multiple bottles at once, we decided to offer an even bigger discount to those who stock up. In other words, the more bottles you buy, the cheaper it gets. That means in addition to flushing away brain-leaching toxins, boosting your memory, and regaining your mental vitality, you'll also be saving money. If you order the 6-month supply, the price drops to just $49 per bottle. That's over 29% off the original price of $79, less than $2 a day. That's less than a decent cup of coffee and much cheaper than paying for memory care in a nursing home. Plus, not only will you save a ton, but you'll always have enough MemoForce on hand. If you're unsure which kit to choose, here are 2 reasons why the 6-bottle option is your best choice. Reason 1, it gives you the biggest discount. A single bottle of MemoForce normally costs $79, but with the 6-bottle kit, while this promotion is still live and stock is available, you'll pay just $49 per bottle. That's nearly $120 in savings. But this price won't last forever. And here's reason 2. Our goal is to have 6,000 customers using MemoForce to compete for the World Health Organization's Innovation of the Year Award. Right now, we have 5,600 customers. Once we reach 6,000, we'll return to the original price and you won't be able to get this discount again. So, if you're still on the fence about which option to choose, these 2 reasons might help you decide on the 6-bottle option. Just select it below and click the orange button. But if you're not ready to commit to that, no worries. You still have the 1-bottle and 3-bottle options available. Go ahead and choose your kit below. Now, I've got even more great news for you. I'm including 3 valuable bonus gifts. First, you'll get free shipping when you order the 3 or 6-bottle kits. Second, you'll receive a digital copy of the book, The Super Gut Code. Here's what you'll find inside this book, which was a bestseller in its launch year. How this Peruvian superfood reduces gut inflammation by 83% and slashes heart disease risk by 62%. Why 73% of people with chronic fatigue have this one gut imbalance, and the 3-step herbal protocol to solve it. How consuming this $2 Ayurvedic spice at 9 p.m. can make you have a 28% deeper sleep. The real reason why 91% of Americans suffer from mineral deficiency and how the herbal chelation trinity can skyrocket nutrient absorption by 317%. The Centenarian's microbiome cocktail that Japanese scientists say is the key to extending your health span for more than a decade, and much, much more. This book hasn't been available for over 2 years. The only way to get a copy now is to buy one of the rare editions online, which sells for $77. But today, when you secure your Memo Force kit, you'll get it sent to your email for free. The third gift is a digital copy of the book 101 Herbal Healing. Have you ever wanted to learn about the true healing power of Mother Nature? I'm talking about using scientifically proven medicinal plants to solve problems like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, memory loss, joint pain, and even low libido. For each of these issues, nature offers an option. And the best part, it's safe. No side effects, no injections, no pills. This solution can save you hundreds, even thousands of dollars a year on doctors and pills. Normally, this digital book sells for $67, but today, it's yours absolutely free when you choose your kit below this video. Not a bad deal, right? But no deal is complete without a rock-solid money-back guarantee. Here's how it works. If you're like tens of thousands of Memo Force users, you and your loved ones will be thrilled by the results. And if you're not amazed by how much clearer your thinking becomes, if you're not ecstatic about how sharp you feel in social situations, if you're not happy with how easy it becomes to remember dates, names, and faces, or even if you just don't like the logo on the bottle, simply call or email our friendly US-based customer service team within 180 days and you'll get a fast refund of every penny. Plus, you can keep the bonus gifts. That means you get 180 days, half a year, to try Memo Force for yourself and decide if it's right for you. And believe me, we wouldn't be able to offer this kind of guarantee if we weren't 100% confident that Memo Force truly works. So go ahead, choose the 6-bottle package or any package below to get started. And listen, if you've been let down by memory supplements before, I totally understand. But here's the thing, Memo Force is in a league of its own. It's formulated with unique compounds you won't find anywhere else, all backed by the latest scientific research from Harvard, the University of Wisconsin Medical School, and many other renowned institutions. Memo Force has worked wonders for countless people. I've seen men and women just like you go from forgetting why they walked into a room to recalling childhood memories with crystal clarity. So I know it can improve your life and give you and your loved ones the peace of mind you deserve. However, if you're not completely blown away, and if you're not 100% satisfied with the results, I'll give you a full refund. No questions asked. Just be sure to act now and choose the 6-bottle package or any package below before supply runs out. Here's what will happen if you click the button below. First, you'll be taken to a secure checkout page that looks like this. Next, you'll enter your payment information on the secure form, protected by military-grade 256-bit SSL encryption, the same security used by Amazon and Microsoft. So you can feel completely safe when you place your order. As soon as you click the Complete My Order button, our warehouse team will immediately start packaging your order. In just a few days, a small, discreet package will arrive at your door. Open it and simply take 2 capsules right before breakfast and you'll be on your way to flushing away brain-leaching toxins, boosting acetylcholine production, and improving your brain power for years to come. Choose the package that's best for you and your family below and get started today. Right now, you're at a crossroads. One road is the familiar path. It's worn, cracked, and full of brain-leaching toxins. It's the same road you've been on for years. If you make the mistake of continuing down this path, it only leads to dark, desperate place where you may become dependent on loved ones for even the most basic tasks. And that brings up an important point. You're not the only one suffering. If you've ever thought about the toll your memory loss might take on your loved ones, you know you'll be dragging your family through that same hell with you. So many adult children sacrifice their lives to care for an aging parent, burning through their life savings to pay for prescriptions, caregivers, and nursing homes. It could cost up to $7,000 a month. Is that how you want your children to spend their lives? Sacrificing their hopes and dreams to care for their parents? Draining their savings just so you can sit in a nursing home, unable to recognize your own family? I know that's the last thing any of us want for our kids and grandkids. My own mother nearly hurt myself with a garden fork because she didn't recognize me during a severe memory lapse. But thanks to Memo Force, our family, and tens of thousands of other families, now have the peace of mind that this will never happen. And I'd love for you to experience that same peace of mind. But of course, it's your choice. I do have to warn you though, the longer you wait to fight those brain-leaching toxins, the more damage they will do. And eventually, that damage may be irreversible. Sadly, most people wait too long, hoping and praying for a miracle that will never come, all because they chose to procrastinate. So ask yourself, what do you want? A brain full of leeches or a sharp, focused mind? That's where the other road comes in. The other road leads to this life-changing formula delivered right to your door. By choosing this path, you'll arm yourself with a one-of-a-kind, all-natural solution featuring Harvard-researched ingredients and miracle compounds proven to fight brain-leaching toxins, boost acetylcholine production, and keep your brain sharp and energized. You'll start to remember names and faces effortlessly and impress your family with your quick wit and sharp memory at holiday gatherings. Most importantly, you'll free yourself from the fear of memory loss. I hope you choose this path, but only you can make that decision. Just remember, you are protected by our money-back guarantee. You risk absolutely nothing by trying MemoForce today, which, in my opinion, makes this an easy decision, especially at this discounted price. That said, I can't guarantee this discount for much longer. Time is running out, and it's time to take action. Click the 6-bottle package or any other option below to securely place your order. Thank you for letting me share this incredible discovery with you today. This is Christopher Euler, signing off.